Aries. Aries symbol Mercury begins its transit of your opposite sign today, dear Aries, and will influence this area of your solar chart until November 5th. It's a pleasant position for Mercury and a period for sharing your ideas and plans more readily, particularly in one-on-one settings. You tend to do more thinking about your relationships or collaborating with a partner. In the weeks ahead, you seem to need catalysts to jumpstart your thinking, and you crave more conversation, feedback, and input for this reason. Your ability to consider the other side of the coin strengthens, helping endear you to others and giving you a valuable new perspective. Today's energies are good for bringing more organization or structure to your daily affairs. Taurus. Taurus symbol Mercury begins its transit of your solar 6th house today, dear Taurus, and will stay until November 5th, a longer than usual Mercury transit. You take more interest in details, work, health, and problem solving during this cycle. Small jobs and duties or dissecting problems are in stronger focus. It's a great time to tidy up your life in small but impactful ways, but it's crucial to avoid overthinking and worrying, which can happen under duress. It's a perfect time for updating skills and learning things that help improve your work and health. Today, you're most interested in building something that will last. Your sense of practical priorities is strong. Gemini. Gemini symbol the messenger planet and your ruler, Mercury, heads into your playful, creative solar 5th house today, dear Gemini. Until November 5th, you gravitate to people who encourage and make it easy for you to express yourself. Positive communications and a receptive audience for your ideas and gestures figure strongly. Areas of life associated with the 5th house can be more interesting and thought-worthy for you now, including romance, children, and hobbies or creative pursuits. You may get the chance to shine or stand out from the crowd on a mental level, or this can be a time of more straightforward expression of your feelings, ideas, and personality. If you've had trouble verbalizing your affections, this is a time to get things out. Today, emotions are sharp and clear. Today's transits favor channeling emotions in constructive, helpful, and practical ways. Cancer. Cancer symbol Mercury begins its transit of your home and family sector today, dear Cancer. While not the most expressive or communicative of Mercury cycles, it's a solid period for sorting out problems around the home and opening up the lines of communication with loved ones. This Mercury transit lasts longer than usual, running until November 5th. You have a lot to learn at home and through contact with loved ones, but you may not be as forthcoming with the outside world. You more frequently consider long-term security or endeavors that have long-lasting potential, and you're often preoccupied with your personal life. This transit can point to extra busyness in your domestic world. Today, you're best off if you can catch your breath and process recent events and feelings. You might find the time and energy to put an annoying problem behind you. Leo. Intelligent, curious Mercury heads into your communications sector for a stay until November 5th, dear Leo. It's a pleasant position for Mercury and can feel fresh, although there can be times when it's challenging to concentrate in the weeks ahead. It's a busy cycle for coming up with new ideas, making contact with others, and learning various new things. You're in perfect shape for learning, studying, communicating, and connecting. Your communications have extra oomph during this cycle. There can be times when you could find it hard to relax or focus. It's a good time for playing with new ideas and doing some information gathering. Today is good for latching onto a special heartfelt pursuit. You feel capable of meeting your responsibilities. Virgo. Mercury begins its transit of your money and values sector today, dear Virgo, and will spend quite some time here, until November 5th. During this cycle, you want to build and develop your ideas and see tangible results for your efforts. It's a great time for considering improvements to business pursuits and for organizing your finances. You'll be getting a better grip on your financial situation, at least mentally. There is some tendency to worry about money, but it's a promising period for sorting things out. Your thinking is practical and sensible, and you're looking for results, not just theory. It's also a time for working with natural talents and putting them to practical use. Today, you have a stronger sense of your duties and others' expectations. You tend to crave a little more order in your life, and you're quite willing to put in the effort to make it happen. Libra. Mercury moves into your sign today, dear Libra, for a longer stay than usual, until November 5th. This transit brings more clarity to your life after a period of relative reflection and perhaps some indecision. You can happily jump off the fence about a matter and reach a significant conclusion. You're ready to put the past behind you, and you have plenty of fresh ideas for the future. Next month, there can be some backtracking when Mercury turns retrograde, but you'll have plenty of time to sort things out. Your personality and intelligence come through more clearly, and others find you particularly fascinating. Indeed, your communications make an impact. With Mercury in your corner, you can enjoy improved decision-making and a greater ability to talk about your plans. Today, you are especially resourceful, but you're also looking for ways to expand your experiences or mind. Scorpio. Mercury begins its transit of your privacy and soul sector today, dear Scorpio, where it will stay until November 5th. It's a time when discussions and thoughts frequently revolve around the past during this cycle. You can benefit from more contemplative activities, research, and reflection. You may be a little more secretive or indecisive, but you might prioritize mental rest. However, behind-the-scenes study or work can thrive now. Today feels balanced and orderly, and it's just what you need at the moment. You could tap into the motivation to do something positive and supportive, particularly related to domestic harmony or structure. Today is good for taking measured steps towards a goal rather than attempting to push forward quickly. Sagittarius. Mercury begins its transit of your solar 11th house today, dear Sagittarius, and will stick around here until November 5th. It's a longer than usual transit for Mercury, and you'll get plenty of chances to connect with interesting people and ideas. This cycle encourages inventive thinking and more flowing communications. There can be a notable mental focus on your dreams, wishes, hopes, and happiness goals, as well as an increased interest in what others are doing, saying, and thinking. Networking activities increase and stand to offer some learning experiences. Collaboration brings rewards in the weeks ahead. It's a fine time for exploring your happiness goals. Today, you seek a little more harmony and balance. There can be helpful feedback or a pivotal conversation. Capricorn. Mercury begins its transit of your solar 10th house today, dear Capricorn, where this messenger planet will visit until November 5th. It's a great time to show your integrity in your communications, since what you say has more impact and perhaps consequences. You're taking care of business, showing off your skills, or getting attention for your abilities. You tend to give more thought to career and business affairs in the weeks ahead, as your life direction, reputation, and goals or ambitions assume more importance to you. While today may be a little quiet, you can be quite happy and productive as the moon transits your work and health sector. You might be handling details that further your financial, health, and work goals. Aquarius. Mercury begins its transit of your spirit sector, dear Aquarius, where it will guest stay until November 5th. This influence tends to lift your thinking up and your focus outward, and it lasts longer than the typical Mercury transit. You might discover a new interest, or you could be pursuing a particular topic with more vigor during this cycle. You do less ruminating and more big picture thinking. Because you are not as preoccupied with your practical affairs, it's essential to avoid glossing over important details. Still, it's a great time to gain a new perspective on your life. You are more courageous or simply spontaneous when expressing your opinions and sharing your ideas during this cycle. It's a fine time to expand your mind and interests. Today's energies are good for nurturing a pet project or relationship. Pisces. Mercury begins its transit of your solar 8th house today, dear Pisces, where it will stay until November 5th. During this cycle, your thinking is more strategic and analytical. Your inclination to research and explore topics in more depth can mean especially well-developed ideas. It's a good time for bringing more common sense to finances. There can be profound, engaging conversations with others and valuable moments of self-discovery. Secret or hidden information can figure strongly. Today, there can be a nice focus on attention to your personal needs, family, or home life. You seem to need to get your domestic life running smoothly before taking on the world, or you need the space to get yourself together and functioning well, making a time out especially welcome.